Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and I'm actually cooking again, but I wanted to cover a couple of things with you guys and answer some questions. Namely, what can we expect health-wise when the grid goes down? And the way I'm going to answer it is based on a couple of assumptions. Number one, that most of the diseases spread in this world are respiratory and digestive. And then number two, that most people in the United States are not used to exerting large amounts of manual effort to meet their needs for the day. So in a grid down situation, a lot of the catastrophic loss of life in the long term is related to, first off, people who were weak anyway, whose bodies weren't accustomed to having to do things. For instance, like with shoveling snow. I mean, we've seen this lately with this huge snow blanket that's crossed most of the country, and people dying from heart attacks from having to shovel snow. And it's not like there's some wussy group of people, you know, snow is heavy, okay? But when you have a large portion of the population that is not used to having to go and tote water, you know, and carried it back and forth every day because they're used to having indoor plumbing, you know, water's heavy. And if you're having to go and move back and forth, you know, it can be a little bit of a strain. Another thing to consider too is that when the grid goes down for an extended period of time, you have the diseases, the waterborne diseases start to really spread, okay? People in general tend to not be the best, you know, sanitary creatures anyway, just because we tend to be lazy. But when you multiply unsanitary conditions with the low-level laziness that we all can nurture sometimes with personal hygiene, it can really lend to the spread of waterborne diseases. And those tend to be digestive primarily, because when you're eating foods that haven't been sanitarily prepared, you know, you have the risk for ingesting different viruses, bacteria, etc. And then also, without proper waste disposal, people are more inclined to contract these diseases that come as a result of people's poop making it into the water or the food supply, okay? So there's a few things that we can do specifically for the waterborne diseases, and having a reliable way to purify your water is really essential. And I would submit that you need to, as best as possible, have a way to purify your water that does not require electricity, okay? And that is able to be maintenance, cleaned, and serviced without having consistently to buy expensive parts, right? Let me show you what I run. And this thing, of course, is the Berkey Light, and it holds quite a lot of water. I decided to go with this one primarily because it was lightweight, and to me, I didn't want to have to pay the extra amount. And another thing to keep in mind, that the metal, if you get the metal ones, they tend to clink, especially, and make a lot of noise if you're transporting them, and I am kind of a stickler for noise discipline, if you can believe that. So I like to run both the black and the white elements. The white elements tend to purify out, well, they do purify out your heavy metals, you know, the lead, arsenic. They also purify out fluoride. The top ones here, the black elements, they filter out bacteria and nasties. So this is what I recommend, and I'll put a link in the description box below. One of the things that you want to be careful of when you're prepping your food in a grid down situation is that you're cooking your food appropriately. And this specifically becomes an issue when you're looking at animal products, meat, dairy, etc. They have to be kept stored at appropriate temperatures, but also they need to be cooked at appropriate temperatures as well. And in a grid down situation, energy can be at a premium, and so it can be tempting to not cook things as long as they need to be cooked, or to take them off, you know, before they're done properly cooking, etc., because of a short supply of energy. So those are some things to consider. Examples of diseases that could spread because of that would be Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli. With norovirus, you're looking at transmission from person to person. Typically this tends to be seen, you know, from little kids, you know, like they'll get it and, you know, they touch something and you eat it and there's a little bit of saliva, transmission of body fluids, etc. That tends to be one of the ways that it's spread. But people die from this stuff, guys. No joke. And as best as possible, we need to try and cut down on our risk and the risk of our families in contracting these diseases by having a reliable way to purify your water. That's going to take care of a lot of it. But with regard to the respiratory diseases, guys, it is critically important that we be able to wash our hands, okay? A lot of the nasties that get spread here come because we pick something up, we shake somebody's hand, we pick our nose, we touch our eyes, touch our face. Things like that tend to spread the respiratory nasties as well. So make sure that you're good about washing your hands. And also during the midst of flu season, if you have a grid down, a long-term grid down, you definitely want to make sure that you're keeping your home as well ventilated as possible. That could be a challenge in the winter and the cold months, but stagnant air, you know, low oxygenated air, that's not really what we want. We need to make sure that we're keeping a healthy and happy breathing environment for our home. So those are just a few pointers, a few tips that I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm in the midst of making my world famous gluten-free matzo ball soup tonight. A video on that one will be forthcoming. It takes a lot of prep time. It takes a lot of prep time, you know, different camera angles, etc. to do that. But I definitely wanted to share with you guys some pointers today because I had some questions and I wanted to answer it. I hope it was helpful for y'all. If you did enjoy the video today, please subscribe to me, Patriot Nurse, and also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, guys. We definitely need to be in prayer for our nation right now. There are many things going on. And I just hope that the Lord has mercy for us, despite everything that we've done. And I hope that the bright history of our nation is ahead. However, history would seem to suggest otherwise. So I hope it was helpful for you guys. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I will see you guys later. Bye.